Welcome to The Explainer. All right, let's talk about Keyman, but we're going to forget the dusty old textbooks today. We're getting practical. We're going to turn all that complex theory into a real-world strategic toolkit that you can actually use to make better decisions.
And that quote on your screen, it really says it all. This is the whole point. It's not about being some kind of academic who can memorize charts. It's about being strategic. It's about learning how to read the energy of a specific moment to make a smart choice, a choice that gives you a real, tangible edge. So, think about this for a second. Let's say you've poured your heart and soul into creating an amazing new product. But just having a great product, well, that's not always enough, is it? The real question is, when do you launch it? When is that perfect window to get the most buzz, the most success?
Or, hey, here's another one. You get the call for your dream job, and they say, "We can see you Tuesday at 2 or Friday at 10. Now, on the surface, they're just 2 times on a calendar. But what if one of them held this hidden advantage? How would you even begin to know which one gives you the better shot?
And look, this isn't just for your career. Think about your personal life. We all know that timing can be, well, everything, right? Especially with something like a first date. I mean, could the time you pick actually help make that first impression a great one? Well, according to Keyman, yeah, it absolutely can.
Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. First up, your professional toolkit. We're talking about how to apply Keyman to your career and business for a serious competitive edge.
Okay, so let's go back to that product launch. This is a huge deal for any business, right? You need people to see it, to talk about it, but you also need them to, buy it. So how do you find the right moment to get both of those things to happen?
So the strategy here is actually pretty straightforward. In Keyman, a chart is divided into different sectors, or palaces, and each one is in charge of something different in life. So what you do is you look at Palace 9. That's the one for fame and visibility. Then you look at Palace 4, which is all about wealth and profit. The whole game is finding that perfect moment, that day and hour, when both of those palaces are looking really, really good. And boom, that's your launch window.
All right, now let's jump to that interview problem. Tuesday afternoon or Friday morning. Without this tool, you're basically just guessing, flipping a coin. But with Keyman, you can actually pull up the charts for those exact times and see what's really going on energetically.
And wow, look at this. It really shows you just how night and day it can be. For Tuesday, you've got things like the open door, that's all about opportunity, plus the assist star, which is exactly what it sounds like, a helping hand. Awesome. But then you look at Friday, and you see the death door and the sickness star. I mean, the names alone tell you everything you need to know, right? It's a huge red flag. Suddenly, the choice isn't a guess anymore. It's obvious.
Okay, so we've talked business. Now let's switch gears and open up your personal toolkit. Let's see how this applies to big life decisions. Relationships, major purchases, all the important stuff.
All right, picture this. You're on a dating app. You match with someone, and the vibe is great. It's time to actually meet. Now, you could just say, "Hey, how's Thursday?" Or you could use Keyman to find a time that actually helps create a really good, positive connection right from the very start.
And this right here, this is basically your cheat sheet for planning that date. You're going to look at Palace 2, that's the relationship palace in the chart. And you're on the lookout for good signs like the life door or rest door, things that point to harmony and good feelings. The jackpot is finding the 6 harmony god in there. That's an energy that's all about connection. See? It takes it from a total shot in the dark to a really smart, calculated choice.
Okay, let's talk about a really big one. Buying a house. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than that, financially or emotionally. You find the house you love, but here's the thing. When you make your offer can be just as important as how much you offer. You're trying to build a solid foundation, and that's not just a metaphor.
And the process for this just makes so much sense. You look at 2 key things. First, you check Palace 4 for wealth. Yep, same one from the product launch, to make sure the money side of things is on your side. Then you check Palace 8, which is all about foundations and the home itself for long-term stability. You find a window where both of those look strong, and that's when you put in your offer.
So, whether we're talking business, careers, or relationships, all of this comes down to one core idea. It's this powerful combination of 2 things: knowing who you are and knowing when to make your move.
Okay, so the first part of that equation is something called BA-Z. The easiest way to think about it is it's your personal blueprint. It's based on your birth date and time, and it basically maps out your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses. It's the instruction manual for you.
And I absolutely love this analogy because it just makes it all click. Think of it like this. Your Bazi is the car you're driving. It's the engine. Are you a super fast sports car or a tough, go-anywhere 4x4? That's your built-in potential. So what's Chimen? It's the GPS. It's the real-time map that shows you the traffic jams, the shortcuts, and the absolute best route to get where you're going, right now.
So when you put those two together, your car and your GPS, your personal blueprint and your real-time timing, that's when you go from just thinking about things to actually doing them effectively. And that's how you get a real, honest-to-goodness strategic advantage in pretty much any situation.
So let's just boil this all down. The big takeaway here is that Keymen is not about fortune telling. It's not passive. It's an active tool you use for picking the right time to act. It lets you take your natural strengths, the stuff from your Bazi, and use them when they'll have the most impact. It's really about finding the path of least resistance, whether you're trying to close a deal, make a good first impression, or anything in between.
So yeah, you can see how powerful this toolkit can be, right? It gives you a way to make these really smart, calculated decisions. But like with any powerful tool, it brings up some big questions. What can it do? What are the limits? And maybe most importantly, where's the ethical line? That's a huge topic, and it's exactly where we're going next time.